evidences that focusing this research supporting SDG localization cases, Faculty of Management, School of Management, Tribhuvan University working with local level on ESG and other resource mapping. So therefore, this year, with the collaboration of the Nepal government as well as the Rashtra Bank, and we have started the postgraduate diploma in sustainable business management, and then we are going to produce the ESG leader. So after a few years, even the government will declare every institution, every organization, they should be certified with the ESG approach. Otherwise, they cannot run. And therefore, this is the already practice in European Union and some of the developed nations, and therefore, because we have to give more focus to the environment, society, and governance. These three are very important things. Even if you see these three, ESG are directly related with our 15 sustainable goals. Look, the importance of this ESG, and therefore, first of all, we professor, we academician, we need to go for the academic advocacy. So maybe the theories, or some of area, maybe the research or practice or concept. This is our role, because since we are the knowledge partner, and we expect always, because I have seen most of the practitioners here at the Tribhuvan University, one of the largest universities, always expecting your cooperations, okay, for this design thinking of, innovation, research, and sustainability. And we are working on this. Look, the TU and UNDP SDG tracking in Lalitpur and Dhankuta and Chittagong. PU and USAID food security matrix is planning, and we are also doing community impact reports produced, because everything we want through the innovation. Making same thing differently is called the innovation. Of course, and therefore, if you really want to bring innovation from this year, our university declare the 5% research budget out of the total budget of university, 5%. But still it is a 5%, but we are claiming that this 5% is a very big percent. Of course, therefore this research is a mindset that everybody, we need to generate, not only the academician, even in the practitioner, corporate sector, society, other, different organization, contemporary organization, and therefore we can bring the sustainability through generating the knowledge. And some of the characteristics I want to highlight here, because everybody, we are very familiar with these characteristics, of course, because the politicians are not here, because always they interfere in the political appointments of university also. Even in the assistant campus, sometimes I get the loss of the political calls. Therefore, until and unless, if we are not able to mitigate, of course, politics is necessary for development. I am not in against of politics. Yes, of course, if you see some of the best practices also, politics is necessary. But the thing is that how we implement this political behavior, political philosophy, or political approach in different, this type of the university systems. That is the great questions to us. And therefore, now still the discourse and debate also has been started. And all these are some of the characteristics like weak governance, over-politicized, ineffective management, low investment, the budget, if you see in the, hardly even 1%, if you see 10%, and hardly in 1% in the higher education budget from Nepal government. You just think, how can we contribute this 1%? Always we are lobbying and we are advocating to our, chancellor, and therefore we have a prime minister chancellor systems, and to make more easy to get the funds in the Nepalese universities. And that is also the debatable discourse, whether chancellor is required, prime minister should be chancellor or not. Of course, like our very big universities, we need for the political lobbying, political approach, because of our systems, it may also require. And another, because we designed this, Faculty of Management designed this HEI local collaboration framework. Still, this framework is a experimentation stage and with some of the collaboration, some of the relationship with the different municipalities. So as a part of the co-designing with the communities, that is the design thinking. So working together to generate the knowledge, because we try to identify some of our students, they are already in action. Our professors are already in actions to create some of the innovation, to identify the local resources. The competencies of the Jumla and the competencies of Okaldunga and the competencies of the Itahari or competencies of the Kathmandu is different. And therefore, this is our role to identify the local resources and to connect our students through the community-based services. And there we expect the innovations. And similarly, we did some capacity building for municipal and local level leaders and participative data system and digital governance, mapping of local resources. These are the major domain and major construct of this HEI local collaboration framework. And with this framework, especially my faculties, which covers almost 49.90% students of the total number of the Tribhuvan universities, meaning that 280,000 students. Can you imagine in my one programs, BBS programs, I have 168,000 students. So if I improve this 168,000, then only I can see the innovation in Jumla. I can see the innovation in Okaldunga. I can see the innovation in Bhojpur. And therefore, my more preference as a Dean of Faculty of Management, let's try to confine, let's try to customize this my curriculum, especially targeting to these BBS students. This is my general programs, because the FOM has started almost 41 different programs, maybe the general programs or autonomous program or special education programs. So we want to see some kind of research, innovation and some higher education sustainability. But while talking with the sustainability, because I raised question myself, what is the sustainability of the community campus like Janta Multiple Campus? What is the sustainability of the higher education in Nepal? What is the financing strategy of the higher education? Always we expect the government budget from the government. What is our financial strategies? And in that area also we need to do the research. We need to identify some of the innovative areas. So how the practice of some of the international very good universities. And so these are the major issues. And then from the last 5 years, my faculties working on this framework, and of course we are getting very good results also with especially to identify the opportunity to exploit the resources of the local levels. Because we understood that our graduates, they do not have direct community access or community engagement programs. And therefore this could be, this HEI local collaboration framework could be useful to achieve these 3 issues raised by this international conference. That is innovation, research and sustainability. So some of the evidence I want to highlight here. म यसमा अलिकति थोरै इन्फर्मल यहाँसित कुरा गर्न खोजेँ अहिले मेरो आदरणीय नेताहरू यहाँ हुनुहुन्न. I have seen one literature published in China. This is not the theoretical literature, this is the empirical literature. It was the case of 1979. The very transformative leaders of China was Deng Xiaoping to Jimmy Carter. So it is a real story, not a story, it is a real action, how China did tremendous economic developments through the curriculum, through the education system. And sometimes I ask my politicians and leaders, तपाईं शिक्षा मन्त्री भइदिनुस् न भनेर कोही पनि शिक्षा मन्त्री हुन चाहदैन. हेर्नुस्, एकजना Deng Xiaopingले चाहिँ यो फेज वाइज छ. स्टेज 1 सोभियत पेडागोजी, फेलियर इन चाइना. Stage 2 leftist ideology or Chinese pedagogy, failure in China. And then after they did research, some of the Chinese professors, they did research and they identified, why not we use the Western pedagogy? Because of course, त्यो बेलामा अझ झन् कति orthodox issuesहरु थियो होला, कति गाह्रो थियो होला Deng Xiaopingलाई. तर even he talked with the Jimmy Carter. And he asks, because if you see the scenario in that time, the United States and other developed, some of the Scandinavian countries were tremendous economic developments because of the education system. And then they are being asked to Jimmy Carter's, what is your curriculum? What is your education system? How can we transform this system in Chinese economy? Single agenda मा त्यहाँको त्यत्रो राष्ट्रपति चाहिँ तपाईको चाहिँ अमेरिका भ्रमण गर्नुहुन्छ 16 दिन त्यहाँ बस्नुहुन्छ हेर्नुस् र त्यो वेस्टर्न पेडागोजीको सम्पूर्ण एउटा स्टडी गरेर आइसकेपछि एस्टाब्लिश युनिभर्सिटी अफ वेस्टर्न ओन्टारियो 1990 मा if you see established case center World Bank supported Western pedagogy. And look, after 1979 when China started the Western pedagogy or Western curriculum, there are lots of the tremendous development in the Chinese economy. So look, just come here. So many times we talk with the politician, why not we improve in the education systems? Let's think. अब यहाँ कस्तो छ भन्दाखेरिमा कहिलेकाहीँ ठुलठुलो पार्टीको मान्छेहरूलाई शिक्षा मन्त्री हुनुस् न भन्दाखेरिमा त्यहाँ कमिसन आउँदैन होला केही आउँदैन होला शिक्षा मन्त्री हुनै खोज्नु हुँदैन मैले कसैलाई ब्लेम लगाएको होइन until and unless if you do not improve the education systems, then you cannot expect the sustainability, research, innovations. Who are the innovators? Who are the ideators? The university graduates, the professors, the academicians. And they should ventilate some of the research findings through the research activities. And until and unless if you do not collaborate with all these different stakeholders, so it's very difficult to bring some of the innovative approach even in the Nepalese society. And just few minutes, this is some of the issue HEI and sustainable development, particularly focused with the SDG. Of course, we have to be more focused to the quality educations. And that education should be not only focused with the content, that is the context. Because since we have been experiencing the knowledge-based economy, and this is the era of the cross-fertilization of knowledge, and in order to strengthen this cross-fertilization of knowledge, of course, we need to involve in research. Research more in the actual research, more in the applied research, and therefore my university, especially Faculty of Management, from the last 5 years, or even the PhD and MPhil scholar, we are giving more emphasis, not only the academic research, let's go for the action research also. Because we have lots of the very good example through action research, and these higher education institutions should bring some change culture of mindset transformations. अहिले नेपालको अस्ति एउटा डायलगमा मैले सोधेको थिएँ बैंकर एसोसिएसनसँग तपाईहरुको बैंकर एसोसिएसनको अथवा बैंकको रिसर्च बजेट कति हो भनेर सोध्यो भने उहाँहरु हाँस्नु भयो कि हेर्नुस् एफएमसीसीआई सँग हाम्रो डायलग हुन्छ what's the budget in research हाम्रो आफैले आन्तरिक हिसाबले गर्छौं भन्छ that's we have to take it very positive because this is our duty because we need to advocate on tap to drive गर्ने पनि हाम्रै विद्यार्थी अहिले हेर्नुस् more than 90% students those who are holding the key position in government or public or private sectors from our universities मैले कुन युनिभर्सिटी भनेर भन्दैन from our universities. And why not we bring this type of the research cultures? Why not we academicians we try to combine this type of the research and innovation culture throughout the curriculum? Until and unless if you are not able to intervene these things through the curriculum, you cannot bring these three very important things for the sustainable development and sustainable growth in Nepal. Therefore, my humble request to them, because I have seen very prominent campus chief, scholar, and the professor over here. And what is the way forward? And this is the, because based on our research done in 2024, the crux of HEIs and then strengthening research ecosystem, especially applied science, market analysis, environmental sustainability, is essential to unlocking industrial and tourism potential. Because I have seen because one paper I presented the 2 months before, because I saw the literatures in India, मन्दिर अर्थशास्त्र भन्दो रहेछ इन्डियाको 5 वटा मन्दिरको बजेट चाहिँ हाम्रो नेपालको बजेट भन्दा बढी छ This is called temple economy. Look, and just I compare with my Pashupati Nath temple, and then I want to see the governance, the financial issues, because we are talking the one of the pillar of the government's part, because I do not find even the surroundings still we are unable to develop. Because I compare with the 5 different temples of India, budget is more than the Nepalese budget. It's called the temple economy. So we can do lots of the resource and innovations even in the tourism sectors, education tourism, religious tourism. Let's try to confine, because let's try to identify what is our core competencies. What is the core competencies of Nepali society? Our core competencies of Nepali society is in the service sectors, rather than the big industries or more capital-intensive organizations. And so we have to give more, focus on that area, our research, our innovation activities, our curriculums. So I request even Janta Multiple Campus, you are one of the QA accredited college, let's come with your, local curriculums. Because Faculty of Management has provision to provide you academic degree, autonomous academic degree. Since we have our already 5 campuses, they are running, QA accredited campuses in Nepal, they are running their different autonomous programs. You make one team and try to confine what's the opportunity of these eastern regions, maybe the industrial corridor, maybe the tourism sectors, and let's do the research and let's make the evidence-based curriculum. As a dean, I am ready to provide you this, affiliation of your local curriculums, because we have provisions and our even executive council and our academic council has already passed. So we need to work. कहिलेकाहीँ हामी भनेर मात्रै हुँदैन, हामीले काम पनि गर्नु पर्यो, हामीले त्यो कुराहरूलाई फोकस गर्नु पर्यो. त्यसकारणले नि this integrated research lead policy backed by public-private academic partnership. My request, particularly localizing these issues with this campus. Let's, of course, very good work done by Vikasji. This is first international conference. Really challenging to do this international conference to gather this very distinguished personality from the different corner of the world. Of course, challenging. But at the same time, we have to be very much serious on that, the role of public, private and academic partnerships to create some impact. Let's start from very small things. Not necessarily in the very beginning we have to do very big things, okay? And so, therefore, we need the urgent investment in research infrastructure, capacity building, and regional innovations best tailored to unique the socio-economic landscapes. And therefore, from the last few years, our higher education institution, even I have seen, the Keynote University and Tribhuvan University and all the different departments also, they are trying to contribute some of the local level or municipal activities. That's really very interesting, because that's some kind of this departure and shifting of higher educations, okay, to connect with the society. And even in the government, if here is some bureaucrats or policy maker, because we expect your collaboration. We are ready to do the different types of the research, maybe the policy research and other research, and then we expect some of the evidence-based government policies rather than making oneself and providing to some of the top bureaucrats. Let's have some of the research activities within the ministry, within the federal level government, within the provincial level government, within the local level governments. Even we may ask to the local level, authorities, what's your budget in the research? So we are ready, our higher education institutions are ready, for this design thinking. And finally, so when talking this, the major theme of these 3 issues, innovation, research and the sustainability, we have to give more focus SDG center curriculum. Of course, if you see, our curriculum is a very interesting and very fine, but the thing is that pedagogy. Curriculum and the content is not a big thing. The major thing is that how to integrate, just 1 minute, how to integrate this content into the context. That is the main thing. And therefore, pedagogy and your learning strategies are very necessary for the academia, to connect Okay, so you have to bring your society in the classroom. Sometimes you have to bring your corporate sector even in the classroom. The lots of situation and scenario, and therefore we have designed this our SDG Center curricula. Of course, this is the reality of the contemporary society in Nepal. And LMDP, yes, this year we are trying to reach the 100th, even this is the approach of University Grants Commission, Old Bank and Nepalese universities. And even being a largest university, Tribhuvan University is also emphasizing this LMDP localizations, okay, labor market related curriculums, and HAI role in the planning forums, research consulting partnerships, and local innovation incubation labs. Of course, Faculty of Management has started very soon, because I am going to circulate to my almost 700 colleges. Every college must have an incubation center to at least to create some of the entrepreneurship mindset, or some of the angel investor or startups, because I expect hardly 10% if I make some of the entrepreneurship mindset, because that is sufficient for my society. Not necessarily I have to make 100% entrepreneur, because society needs different types of peoples. And joint ESP programs, HAI and local government. Of course, let's think with the local government, because all mayor are not here, because I think if mayor are here, so we can work. Let's make, because I have seen most of the corporate sector and other countries, the industry, they have an education cell. Even if you go to the university, there is a business cells, and they work together. But still we are lacking, and from this year we are going to circulate. So my colleges, not only the colleges getting very different, very degree like a BBA, MBA, even BBS and MBS also. Even in my general program also, in my community college also, in my private affiliated college and constitutional college, they must have ESP programs. They must have an incubation center, so to bring some of the mindsets, okay, to identify its creation of the self-empowerment. So with this, as we know that, make better use of what we know. So thank you, Janta Multiple Campus, giving me this opportunity. Thank you all audience and listening to me. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a good day.